Jungle Book is a movie that
we just saw.
Yeah.
And it was just okay, not that bad.
Hi everyone, where the point is, we just saw The Jungle Book, and overall feelings for me is meh. I'm going to let Scott do most of the talking, and I'll just add to it, because I really don't have much to say about this one.
Solid movie. Not super high, not super low, just a solid movie. Felt like I got my expectation met with a little extras here and a little less here. Overall, not mad I spent the money to go see the movie. Starting with the story, it's not the cartoon. It's not that. It is the original book, which will throw a lot of people off when you start watching it. Certain scenes won't match up to the cartoon. That's actually a refreshing thing for me. Anybody who has read the old book will actually be really happy. How they went about it to me was very well done. I liked it. I didn't have any problems with it. What about you?
Everything you said is exactly why it's meh. It's not a different story. It's the same story told slightly differently, with some of the points moved around, and yeah, it was a solid movie. Seeing this, for me, still felt like an adaptation of the animated movie, mostly because they kept a lot of the shots that kind of were in there, and the music. Or, well, kind of pieces of them.
Well, that's another point, is the music. There isn't much music in this movie compared to the cartoon. No. There are really only two adapted versions of the actual music. It's a very dramatic movie, so there's not much room for a lot of music. So the fact that Disney chose to not go down that road was different, but also nice, because if they would have done that,
expected. That's exactly what they do with their live adaptations of the animated movies. They make them more dramatic. They put in the darker lighting, They put in the choirs to do the for the background music to make it more dramatic. It's the same.
Doesn't make it bad. It actually is good that they didn't do too much music, because it took away from all the feeling, and that was something that was really cool. How they made you really connect with the characters, which in the cartoon you have a hard time doing with some of the characters.
I like the characters. I'll give this props. Mowgli was more interesting than expected. He had character and development that weren't just, I want to stay in the jungle, man. He had flaws but also strengths, and they showed what he does better, and they gave him character. They had a better thing with him in the wolf pack, which was not explored at all in the animated movie.
But it is in the book, which is cool.
And as in the book, the relationship between Mowgli and Baloo is given more time and depth and is done better. And while Kaa has way less screen time, Kaa is also what I thought the coolest part of the movie was, because the character was just badass. It
was also really cool visually, and you love visuals. It was a very visually entrancing scene. It was just how they did the eyes. I thought were really cool. I loved how they did that, because I was wondering, are they going to do his weird cartoon eyes? All the characters were done well. Yeah. You had Idris Elba. Perfect casting for Shao Kahn, because Idris Elba just has a voice unlike anybody else. He's got this mixture with sounds. And he really made Shao Kahn a very menacing sounding guy. The balance between the bad of him and the good of Bagheera, who was played by Ben Kingsley, that was just a great combo of sounds and acting. I love them.
Other than those two and Scarlett Johansson as Kaa, I love me some Bill Murray, and he's great. But I didn't see Baloo. Couldn't help but see Bill Murray in a booth. I couldn't
in a
help.
bear suit.
Yeah, because he's still very Bill Murray-ish, and same goes for Louis and Christopher Walken. I don't know.
Yeah.
There is something about super recognizable voices that you just
have a hard time.
Just give a hard time
especially with Louis. Louis, all I could see was Walken. I've heard Christopher Walken sing in Hairspray. He's not that bad in this one. He tried to make it sound a little bit monkeyish during the... You liked it. I didn't like how they made King Louis into this King Kong of an orangutan.
I get you're trying giant orangutan.
I get that you're trying to make it more dramatic, but it was an unnecessary thing that didn't hit home, nor did it kill it. It was just awkward for me.
That was one of the most unique scenes. There was something that was very different from this Louis, from that Louis, which is the only one that I can say is really, really different. Which, by the way, this is just moving us wonderfully, just seamlessly, without us planning at all, that it would go right into visuals. We totally planned this.
Dun, 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 dun. Visuals for the movie were stunning. It looked like a forest. The animals looked real.
That was the one thing I expected from the movie, that it will look good. And it actually exceeded my expectations. It was just magnificently looking. It was impossible for me to tell where the ground ends and the animated creature begins, or where the blue screen is, or where there's a set piece. It all is seamless. The characters all look like they're there, which is just...
It's really well done.
It's insanely... We live in an age where we can basically make live action anything.
Fantastic. I loved everything about the visuals. It was pretty to watch. Should you go see this movie? Sure. You're not going to be mad if you spend the money for it. I highly suggest don't spend the money on IMAX. You don't need to spend $20 on it.
No, that's the only good thing about the movie is how good it looks. If you're going to see this movie in theaters,
you don't need to see it 3D.
You might as well go see it in IMAX. Possibly 3D if you like. The 3D was also good and looked really good. I'd say that if you like any of the Disney adaptations from animated movie to the live action movies, then this is the best of them.
One of the best. One of the best. The top two.
The best that I've seen.
Okay, best you've seen. Top two. It goes along with Cinderella. To me, Cinderella was fantastic. But that's opinion. So
fair enough.
You're not going to be mad if you see it. Great for the family. It's not too intense, but it's got some intensity in there. Overall, not a bad movie.
Anyway, thank you for watching. The point is, you can subscribe to this channel to see more videos that we'll make in the future.
The future.
The future.
You got the point.
As consumers of popular movies and movies that are blockbuster stuff, we accept the fact that Hollywood is an industry, that is a business, because we know that the blockbuster movies that we like, in order for them to cost as much as they do, they need to make that money, and for that they need to make movies that they know are going to get butts in seats. So we kind of need to accept the fact that for the most part, Hollywood is going to try to sell us stuff more than trying to make something new and creative and stuff. So that's fine. And for the last few years, even half a decade to a decade, it seemed like Hollywood has been hitting close to that sweet spot of making things that are like obvious cash grabs, but finding just enough creative people, like the Lego movie or say Ant-Man, movies that we knew they were being sold to us as for what they are, but at the end of the day, we got something much more fun because someone creative was put on it. When it comes to Disney's adaptations of live adaptations of its animated works, they have still not sold me on they can make this into something creative and awesome that I'm very happy that they made this cash grab. I'm not sold on that yet. I don't think I ever will be sold on it. Who knows? Maybe someone out there is gonna surprise me with something.
It's a valid point.